services to highlight today, and I'm going to quickly share a couple of housekeeping items. Today's event is in webinar format, so we're unable to see or hear any of the attendees. To ask questions to the services during their time slot, please kindly use the Q&A function located along the bottom of the screen. To communicate with the event support team, please kindly use the chat function, which is also located along the bottom of your screen. So jumping right in, our first representative is Allison on behalf of the Registrar's Office. Welcome, Allison. Please tell us about your service.
Hi there. Like you said, my name is Allison Worm. I'm the manager of admissions, registration, and records in the Registrar's Office. So I lead a team of 17 staff, and we are responsible for assessing all of the domestic admissions for all of our full-time day programs. We're also responsible for registering all of the students, and we're responsible for graduation review and transfer credit for the entire college.
Great, Allison. Thank you and welcome. So jumping right into the questions, the first question we have for you today is, what happens if a student didn't pay their fall tuition by the tuition balance due date?
Okay, so students are given the option to either pay their fees in full or pay a deposit and then defer the remainder of the fees. These fees are usually due 3 weeks after the start of term. So for the fall term, the fees are due September the 28th. If a student doesn't pay those fees by the agreed upon date, they will be assessed a $150 late payment penalty. If the account remains unpaid, the students eventually will become financially encumbered with the college, and this will limit some of the functions the students have on access. And if they still remain unpaid, it could affect the following term registration.
Okay, so how does a student pay the rest of their fall fees?
Well, due to the current pandemic, the Registrar's Office, we are working 100% remotely, so students can pay the remainder of their fees through online banking. They would need to add Algonquin College as a payee and use their student number as the account number. We have a really great video that's available on the Registrar's Office website, so that which walks a student through how to complete an online payment. So really encourage students to check out that video if they're having any issues paying fees.
Great, thank you. When is the deadline to withdraw from a course or a program?
Okay, so the date to withdraw from a course actually depends on the start and the end date of the course. This information is available to students on their timetable. Students can log into Access to view their academic program withdrawal date. If a student withdraws from the college or from a course in the first third of the term, they will receive W's on their record. But if the student withdraws after the academic penalty date, they will automatically receive an F grade on their record. So it's really important that students are aware of these dates and deadlines. So I really encourage students to log into Access to get that information.
Thank you. What if a student thinks they've completed a course that they're in at another school before?
So applicants can apply for exemption from individual courses in their program of study if they've previously completed post-secondary coursework at another institution that they believe have the same learning outcomes. This process is also known as transfer credit. So when we refer to it, we interchange transfer credit with exemptions. But for external credit, there's a $10 charge per request, and students apply through their Access account. And they are requested to submit an official transcript, an application form, and detailed course outlines. And again, we have two really great videos that walk students through how to apply for transfer credit. I also say to students, please apply as early as possible. It can take a little while for credit to be transferred, so the earlier the better.
And the last question we have today for the Registrar's Office is, how does a student get proof of enrollment?
So that's really easy. It's been automated. So students log into Access and they select print letters on the option bar, and they can print it themselves from Access.
That's great. Thank you, Allison. It was a pleasure to have you join us. If students have any additional questions related to the Registrar's Office or want to check out any of those videos that Allison suggested, the website link will be posted in the chat now. Next, we'd like to welcome Oleg from Financial Aid and Student Awards. Welcome, Oleg. Please tell us about your services.
Hi, so my name is Oleg. I work for financial aid office at Algonquin College, and basically me and our team are responsible for any questions relating to financial aid. So your questions could relate to OSAP, to bursaries, or just if you need help planning financially, or if you're struggling and you cannot pay for food or shelter, things like that, you will be contacting us, and we'll do our best to try to assist you in helping to pay for school and for your living costs.
Great, thank you for that introduction. So we're going to jump right into the questions. And the first one I have today is, since the Registrar's office is working remotely, how can students reach financial aid and student awards?
Well, assigned officer information is available online on our website, the Algonquin College website. The easiest way to go, if you go to Google and you just click or just type in Mid Financial Aid Officer Algonquin College, it's gonna show the information about the programs. You select the program, it's gonna give you contact information about the financial aid officer assigned to you. We encourage you to email your assigned officer or use the online form, which that's how you get to the online form, or you can also call 613-727-0002 to reach our contact center, and they'll be able to either answer questions or provide guidance on how you can reach us.
Great, thank you. The next question is, if a student is receiving government support through CERB, do they have to claim this income on their OSAP application?
So OSAP permits students to receive income, including CERB, up to $5,600 per term. It's not per your OSAP application length, it's per term. So if you're there in fall and only in fall, your OSAP is only for the fall, then it's $5,600. If it's for the fall and for the winter, then it's double that. So without changing your OSAP assessment. So if your estimate is, if you estimate to receive more than $5,600 per term, simply upload a letter to your OSAP application under optional uploads, so to update your estimated income for the study period, and we'll do that. If it's below $5,600 per term, then you don't need to do anything on your file. But it includes all the income. It includes the CERB income, as well as part-time employment income. So it's the total. It's not just one particular income if it's over $5,600.
Great, thank you. Is it too late for students to apply for OSAP?
No, you can apply for full-time OSAP funding 60 days before the end of the study period, and for the part-time for the deadline for part-time OSAP is 40 days before the end of the study period. And part-time students are, and most online programs require you to apply for every term. So apply right now, it's not too late. You can still do it.
Great, thank you. And the last question I have today for financial aid and student awards is, if a student applied for a fall bursary, when should they expect to hear if they're qualified?
So the closing date is October 5th, and all applicants will be notified by November 9th. Fall bursaries will be applied towards winter 2021 fees, unless you're graduating or sponsored.
Great. Thank you for joining us today, Oleg. If students
Perfect.
have any additional questions related to financial aid and student awards, their website link will be posted in the chat now.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up today, we are excited to welcome Matthew from Information Technology Services. Welcome, Matthew. Please tell us about your service.
Hi there, my name is Matthew Wally. ITS is responsible for supporting most types of technology at the college. My team at the service desk, we handle student inquiries specifically. So if you have an issue with your computer, your software, cell phone, accessing the internet, you can come to us and we'll give you the support you need to get connected again.
Great, Matthew, thank you. So jumping right into questions, the first one I have today is, why would a student be unable to see any course software offerings in their digital resource portal?
So software offerings through the digital resource portal are only available to full-time students that have paid the full-time student tech fee. Some students may be registered for courses that are normally offered through the full-time course load, but are taking them in a part-time capacity. And at that point, you wouldn't be able to get the course offering software through the digital resource portal, you would have to use one of our other available services to access the software, namely through My Desktop. Yeah.
Thank you. How long will students retain access to their student email after they graduate?
Students retain access to their student email for 6 months after graduation. Sorry, I misspoke. Students will retain access to their email indefinitely after they graduate until there's no activity detected on their email for 6 consecutive months. If there's a period of 6 consecutive months with no email activity on their student account, then the account is deactivated and moved for deletion.
Thank you. What email software can students use to access and manage their Algonquin College student email?
So as of fall 2020 semester, the college has made it so that certain email applications are no longer compatible with the college's email security. That is amongst those email applications, but not limited to them, is the default mail app through iPhone, default mail application through Samsung phones, Outlook 2013 and older. If students want to set up access to their email through an application, the college is currently recommending the use of Outlook 2016 and newer, or the Office 365 software, which all students are provided access to regardless of their full-time, part-time status.
Great, thank you. And the last question I have for today for Information Technology Services is, if a student would like to book an appointment to receive in-person support with ITS, what do they do?
ITS has set up several booking pages depending on the type of support you need. For students, there's a booking page for the ITS service desk at Woodruff campus specifically, and that's available from the ITS contact page under the on-site support section. There's a QR code link there that you can click, and it will direct you to the booking page where you can select the type of support you need, as well as the time slot that fits your schedule.
Great. Thank you so much for joining us today, Matthew.
No problem.
If students have any additional questions related to Information Technology Services, a website link will be posted in the chat now. Up next, we are excited to welcome Melissa from Academic Advising. Welcome, Melissa. Please tell us about your service.
Hey everyone, so my name is Melissa and I am the Academic Advising Coordinator at Algonquin College. So I work with the Student Retention and Academic Success team, and together we play a role in ensuring learners have the resources and support they need to achieve their goals at Algonquin. So our team works closely with other departments on campus to improve student retention and graduation, develop strategies, and identify best practices that foster the success of our learners.
Great, thank you. So jumping right into the questions, the first one I have is, what is a student success specialist and how does a student find theirs?
So the best analogy I've heard to describe your student success specialist is that they're like a compass. So helping you navigate all of the resources and supports that are available to you at Algonquin. So if you aren't sure where to go for help, they are your first stop. So given that we're all remote right now, the best way to find your student success specialist would be to go to our main website, click on the banner at the top that says Student Success Specialist. From there, you would select the campus that you're studying at. So it would be either Ottawa, Perth, or Pembroke. And then you would follow by your program. So then you can book a meeting directly with your student success specialist through our website.
Great, thank you. Why is connecting with their with their academic advisor important for students?
So connecting early in your college career with your advisor can establish a good rapport, and this makes it easier for the advisor to match your interests to any new opportunities. So discussing your strengths and weaknesses, as well as your likes and dislikes, is helpful for establishing a personalized roadmap through your curriculum. So advisors will spot weaknesses in your plan if there are any, or reinforce your academic ambitions.
What can students expect from an academic advisor?
So an advisor will listen carefully to your questions and concerns and make sure that you fully understand all of your options so that you can make intelligent choices when it comes to your academics. A key tenet of advising is that each student is responsible for their own decisions, and advisors exist because students can often use some help in making those decisions. And it's because it's nice to have someone keep you focused on the bigger picture, on what your education means to you, and on the learning opportunities that sometimes get lost in all of the other requirements.
If a student is not sure the program that they are in is right for them, where should they go for help?
So the first place to go if a student is struggling to determine if the program they're currently in is the right fit would be their academic advisor. So they can give students some valuable insight into what to expect from the remainder of their program, and then help students determine if staying in the program is the right decision for them.
If a student needs to make a change to their course schedule but are worried about falling behind, where can they go for help?
So most programs do have a set course schedule, so making changes can be challenging. But if this is something that students do need to do for whatever reason, the first person they'd want to contact would be their program coordinator. So each program has a program coordinator that is responsible for most of the administrative work, and course changes are included in this.
If a student is struggling to make the connection between what they are learning in each of their classes, where can they go for help with this?
So the student's academic advisor would be a good first point of contact if they're struggling to make connections between what they're learning in all of their classes. They can help students take a step back and help them understand the bigger picture as it relates to their entire program.
Great, thank you. The next question is, if a student needs to drop a class this semester but wants to know how it's going to impact them moving forward, where would they go for help with this?
So similar to changing a course, if a student needs to drop a course, the person they would be speaking to would be their program coordinator. So what they can do is the program coordinator can go over the impacts of dropping a course and what that will have on the progression in their program. And it can help the students set up a plan to get themselves back on track, including when they'll be able to take that specific course again, if it's required in their program.
And since we can't physically be on campus right now, how can students get in touch with their academic advisor and/or their program coordinator?
So each academic advisor and program coordinator has set up their own best way to get in touch with them. But the first place to start would be to find their contact information through our website. So you can then send them an email, or some even have a soft phone set up, so you can call the extension and they'll be able to answer the phone. And then they can also set up, they can do an email question, or they can set up a video or a telephone meeting as well.
Great. And the last question I have today for academic advising is, if a student is struggling with motivation to study in some of their classes, who can help them get back on track and work with them to set their academic goals?
So it can definitely be challenging to stay motivated, and there are plenty of amazing resources that are available to students across the campus to help with this. Specifically in our area, the academic advisor can work with you to get your studies back on track, help students develop a plan, and to set academic goals to ensure they're successful. The best course of action is to get a plan and goals established well before you do start to struggle. So reach out to academic advisors earlier rather than later is what I would suggest.
Great, Melissa. Thank you for joining us today. If students have any additional questions related to academic advising, their website link is going to be posted in the chat now. And next up today, we would like to welcome Lindsay from the Employment Support Center. Welcome, Lindsay. Please tell us about your service.
Thank you, Leanne. The Employment Support Center is an Algonquin College student support service that provides individual assistance and resources to help students and graduates prepare for both their short-term and their long-term career goals. So whether a student is looking for a part-time job, a full-time job, or summer employment, we are here to help them. And the service is absolutely 100% free, and it's also accessible after a student graduates. So it's great to take advantage of the service while you're a student, but also remember that we're here to support you after you've completed your program and you're looking for employment.
Great, Lindsay, thank you. The first question I have today is, how can a student book an appointment with the Employment Support Center?
So traditionally, of course, you would visit us on campus on the third floor of the Student Commons building. However, during this time, all of our appointments are being held via Zoom. And so if you're a student or graduate looking for an appointment with the Employment Support Center, you would simply email the Welcome Center at welcomecenter@algonquincollege.com, or call the main Algonquin College number and extension 7200 to book an appointment.
Great. And what kind of services are offered through the Employment Support Center?
So we have a whole suite of services that are offered to students and graduates. So we offer targeted resume and cover letter reviews. We can support you with interview skills and mock interviews. So if you have a job posting or a job that you've applied to and you've received an interview, you can actually set up an appointment. We can practice with you. We can support you with job search coaching and advising. So giving you information on strategies you can use in order to be more successful in your job search. We can help advise on things like labor market information and trends if you're curious about the prospects of your program or the job market after you graduate. We can help you with LinkedIn profile advising and how to use it to your benefit and optimize its use. And we can, of course, provide you access and information to different events and workshops that are coming up.
That's so great. Thank you so much. What kind of virtual tools and resources does the Employment Support Center offer?
So we know that right now, virtual tools are really essential for students and graduates to learn about how to find employment. And we wanted to make sure that they have 24/7 access to some really good support services. So there's 3 that I wanted to highlight today. The first is ARIE. This is a job posting board exclusive to Algonquin students and graduates. So you can go on there, you can search for jobs. It's accessible through your Access account. And once you're on there, you can set alerts and you can search for different areas that you might be interested in working in. In addition to that, we have the AC Career Platform. This is an interactive video-based and text-based tool that includes information and different modules on resumes, cover letters, interviews, job search. So if you're looking for a bit more self-study and learning and you want to go through some information and just get your knowledge up to date around those areas, this is a great resource for that. And then, of course, Interview Stream. Interview Stream is a tool that we're using as an interactive video-based online tool that allows you to practice, record, review, and share mock interviews. So you can actually record yourself, see what you're doing. If you're saying a lot of ums or likes, it gives you that sense of how you're performing and helps you to improve your performance. We can also review that with you or have an appointment for an actual mock interview as well.
That's great. That'll be so helpful to students and graduates. What kind of events does the Employment Support Center offer?
So we do have typically a lot of annual face-to-face events, but in light of COVID and everything that's going on right now, we've focused on making some more virtual recruitment events where employers can come connect with us virtually for different recruitment sessions so that we can help meet employers' hiring needs and give students and graduates some opportunities. So recently, just this week, we had Scotiabank come and do a virtual session, and we had lots of students attend, get some really valuable information about the application process. We also have other things that will be coming up as well. So Public Service Procurement Canada will be coming, and they're looking to find students in the BCom, Business Admin, e-Supply Chain programs on September 28th. We have the Public Service Commission coming to talk about FSWEP a little bit later on in October 14th. So this is the Federal Work Experience program for students, which gives opportunities, part-time opportunities throughout the summer and things like that. Can be very, very helpful. And we also have other networking events that are coming up this fall. So typically we have what we call the e-meet and greet for international students and a tie into business networking night for business students.
Those all sound awesome. Thank you so much. Where can students find a job?
So, the first thing I would emphasize is, of course, use HireAC, which is the job board I was referring to earlier, because there are a number of opportunities for full-time, part-time, and summer employment. And these can be in a variety of industries and fields. So this is exclusive to you as a student and graduate of the college, which means that, employers are reaching out to us seeking the talented people that are taking programs with Algonquin. So it's a good place to start. But most importantly, when you're job searching, finding a job means that you need to do a number of different things. So you can't just look online, even though that's convenient, because we know that that's not the most effective way to find work because there's so much competition, what brings me to the point where you need to use a variety of methods. So whether that be going to job fairs or networking events, these are all transferred virtually now, reaching out to employers directly, or building your connections on LinkedIn. Using a variety and diversifying your methods is what's going to help you be effective in your job search moving forward. And of course, if you need more help, you can book an appointment with us and we'll help you out.
And the next question is very similar. It's where can students find a job on campus?
So campus opportunities are always something that students are really interested in because of the limited people that are on campus. Some of those opportunities are reduced this year. But there are a number of places that students can look. So some departments do post their opportunities on Hire AC. Others post them on the Human Resources website at Algonquin College. And others for the organizations on campus that are run through the Students Association, on the Students Association website is another place where you can find on-campus jobs.
Great.
So you can also search through the departments at Algonquin College. For example, food services have an application right in their website, student recruitment for student ambassador positions as well, right on their website, and the AC Hub recruits from their websites as well. So they'll indicate on their websites when they're recruiting. And of course, if you are on campus, you can approach any of the services and ask them if they're hiring.
Thank you. And the last question I have today for the Employment Support Center is, how do students find out about job prospects for their industry or job area?
Great. So you can find a lot of information about the prospects for your desired occupation by visiting the website jobbank.gc.ca. So we do get a lot of questions around, how do I know if there's a lot of opportunities in my area? This website, when you look under the job outlook section, you're actually going to be able to see a number of different pieces of information regarding your particular industry or job. These things can be like, typical or average pay, the description, skills required for the job, but also the trends or the outlooks for that industry. And so when you see that, you can get a sense of whether or not, it's good or it's average or it's limited. And that can be really helpful for you in making some career decisions moving forward. You can also head over to our website, which will be posted in the chat shortly, looking at the graduate employment report. So this is a report that we do 6 months after students graduate to get a sense of where they're working and if they've found employment in relevant fields. And so it gives information to future students or current students on the markets and the prospects of the fields and programs at Algonquin that people have already graduated from. So you can always take a look at that as well.
Great. Thank you for joining us today, Lindsay.
Thank you so much.
If students have any additional questions related to the Employment Support Center, or if they want to check out any of those great resources and events that Lindsay touched on, the website link is going to be posted in the chat now. And next up today, we are going to welcome Olivia from Campus Services and Course Material Services. Welcome, Olivia. Please tell us about your services.
Hi, everyone. So my name is Liv. I work for Campus Services, and essentially Campus Services, their services designed to create simple and enjoyable experience to all of you so that you can focus on achieving success at Algonquin. So we're responsible for food services, parking, locker, and card services, residence, print services, and that also includes the printer fleet and the print shop. And we're also responsible for retail services. So that's the campus store and course materials. So I'm happy to answer any questions today that come up on that.
Great, thank you, Olivia. So we do have some pre-submitted questions, and the first three relate to food services. What food locations are open, and has anything changed?
Yeah, so there are select food locations open at the Ottawa campus to provide a variety of options to students and employees who are studying and working on campus. The hours are modified slightly, so you might want to visit our website before checking them out. But right now, the Marketplace Food Court is open on campus, as well as the Marketplace Food Court, sorry, and I just totally blanked. And I believe we do have a second location open, but that is on our website. And you can find the menu online for our food services locations. So this is really handy so that you can look the menu up before you actually come to the location. Oh, thank you, Patrick, the 35th Street Cafe and Residence. I just fully had a blank moment, so thank you, that's great. So you can check out our menus before you actually come in. So these details can be found by visiting algonquincollege.com/food services.
Great, thank you. Where can students use their meal plan, and how does it work?
Yeah, so the meal plan can be used at all of the food services locations and I believe 2 of the Students Association locations, and it works on a declining balance system. So when you purchase your meal plan through food services, food dollars are deposited onto your meal plan account. And then when you make a purchase, it's as simple as taking out your AC card, which is your student ID, and it's a form of contactless payment. You just tap and the funds will come off of your balance. Funds can be added anytime online. They can also be added at our caches.
Great, thank you. And the last question related to food services is, what health and safety measures are being taken by food services to keep customers safe?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I really wanted to, anyone who's watching this who maybe feels anxious or has to come to campus and wants to eat something, food services has adapted enhanced health and safety measures to its operations to ensure a clean and safe environment for the AC community. So a few measures that are being implemented. So staff, all food services staff wear masks at all times while working. This is pretty cool too, and I'm sure you've seen it at a lot of different retail locations that you've been to, but there's actually floor markings that help guide you through the location and help to keep distance between customers. So that's important too, and we even have a map at the front of the location where you can look and see how the flow works. We've temporarily paused the use of reusable cups. Their self-serve stations have been suspended. So for example, the salad bar, but we have tons of great grab and go items in the Fresh Express, so salad, sandwiches, all sorts of stuff. And then there's enhanced cleaning and sanitization of high touch surface areas within our locations. So this would be something like counters, tables, the pin pads, things that you don't even realize that you probably get touched so frequently. So those are being sanitized more frequently. And temporary shields have been installed at the caches. So a complete guide highlighting all safety protocols at food services locations are available on the food services website. So it's algonquincollege.com/food services for anyone who's curious and wants to do additional readings this term. You can take a look at that.
Great, thank you. Moving on to retail services. If a student has placed an online order but has not received it, who can they contact to find out the status of their order?
Yeah, so you can actually reach out directly to the campus store by phone or by email. They're receiving, probably you figure, but high volume of calls right now. So it might take a day or two for them to get back to you, but just hang in tight and they will get back to you. But yeah, so they can be reached by phone at 613-727-4723. And the extension is 7609, and that's during business hours. Or you can always email campusstore@algonquincollege.com anytime, and then they will get back to you during business hours.
Great. And if a student does not have a credit card, how can they pay online at the campus store?
Yeah, that's a great question. So just for anyone who maybe has a campus store gift card at home right now laying around, or maybe they won one, you can pay with a gift card online. So that's important to note. And the website, thecampusstore.ca, now accepts Visa debit. So that was a huge one. Lots of students have been asking for that. And we now accept Visa debit. So that's very exciting.
Great, thank you. And moving along to course materials. A student has bought a digital resource, but they don't know how to download it.
Yes, so there are different ways to download the digital resource depending on what type of resource it is, whether it's publisher resource or an e-text resource. So there are steps and a full breakdown on how to access your resources if you visit algonquincollege.com/course materials. So that is a super, super helpful website to visit. And if you're still having trouble or you're just feeling anxious and you just need someone to talk to you to help walk you through it, you can always reach out to the course materials team. They can be reached by emailing cms@algonquincollege.com. And one of our awesome course materials representatives will help you out and walk you through that process.
Great, thank you. The next question is related to parking. What kinds of parking options are available for the fall 2020 term?
Yes, great question. So there are many different options, including weekly, monthly, annual, and even a variety of evening and weekend options. If you're only on campus occasionally, you can use Park Pay and Go. So in the Park Pay and Go lots, it's kind of neat. You can even use Honk Mobile to pay for your spot contactlessly, so you don't even have to touch the machine, which is kind of cool. And in case you missed it, Parking Services is now offering weekday daily parking rates in lots 8, 9, and 10 at the Ottawa campus. So that's really handy, and it will be super handy when the weather starts getting colder too, and you don't want to walk from lot 12. So that was a really great bonus. And all options are actually outlined in this really handy chart that we've made. So you can actually look at how frequently you'll be on campus, and it'll tell you what maybe a recommended option would be for you. Based on your frequency you're on campus. And that is on algonquincollege.com/parking.
That's a great resource. Thank you so much for sharing. The next question is about lockers. Can students still rent a locker for the fall 2020 term?
Absolutely. So lockers can be rented online only this term, which is important to note. This can be done by logging into your Access account, so the Algonquin College Student Information System, and selecting lockers from the left-hand menu bar. So there you can rent a locker for the term, or maybe even for 2 terms, depending on your schedule and if you're on campus for the next 2 terms. Renting your locker online also allows you to select a location where available. So our system will automatically try to place you near the majority of your classes, but there is a bit of room to maybe select a different building that you prefer if there's room in that building.
Great, thank you. And there's 2 questions left for campus services and course material services, and they're related to cards. So the first one is, can a student still opt out of their UPass?
Yes, so if you're going to listen to anything that I say today, listen to the UPass and the card. So there are certain criteria that would allow you to opt out of the UPass program. A few examples include living outside of the OC Transpo STO service area, or if you are now deemed a remote learner for the fall 2020 term. So a lot of you folks would normally be on campus, but you've been put to remote learning for this term, so that would qualify you to opt out. So if you qualify to opt out of the UPass program, please try to opt out by September 25th. This is not for me, it's for you. This is the deadline for a full fee assessment. So if you want to receive the full fee assessment, the deadline to opt out is September 25th. If you qualify, you can still opt out of the program after September 25th and receive a prorated refund, so it will be less than the full assessment. And the opt-out application is actually done through Access. Super simple. You probably already know how to get onto your Access account. And then another question that I've been getting quite a bit is students are asking if they do opt out, are they opting out for the fall, the winter, both? Right now, you're only opting out for the fall term. So don't worry, the winter will be a whole other ball game, and we'll communicate to you then.
Great, thank you. And the last question I have is, if a student has opted out of the UPass, but then they realize that they in fact need it, what do they do?
Yes, so we want to make things as flexible as possible for you this term. We know that life's a little stressful, so you don't have to stress about the UPass, which is great. So you can actually opt back into the UPass program for the fall 2020 term on Access, again with a prorated fee adjustment. So, if you thought maybe you don't need a bus pass, but now you have a job, or, you need a way to commute, you can actually opt back in.
Great. Thank you so much for joining us today, Olivia.
Awesome. Thank you.
If students have any additional questions related to campus services or course material services, or want to check out any of the great resources that Olivia mentioned today, a website link is going to be posted in the chat now. And next up today, we would like to welcome 4 representatives from Student Support Services. So the first representative I'm going to call upon is Martha on behalf of Aspire AC, the Center for Accessible Learning, and the Office of the Ombudsman. Welcome, Martha. Please tell us about the 3 services that you are representing today.
Good morning, everyone. Happy to be here to talk about some of the services that are available through Student Support Services to help learners achieve their goals. So Aspire AC is the first one that I'll speak about. Aspire AC is a specific program targeted at diversity groups, and students who may not traditionally go to post-secondary. So you might be the first person in your family to go to post-secondary. You might be a newcomer to Canada where college is something that you've always dreamed of and you're going to try and start it. And that program has very intensive supports for students who have the motivation and the commitment. But what we're going to do is build your confidence with tools and resources and help you achieve your post-secondary goals. The Centre for Accessible Learning is for any student who, due to the unique way that they learn or to a disability, might need some accommodations to how they learn. They might need accommodations for test taking. They might need some technology, that kind of thing. And the Office of the Ombudsman is sort of a last resort to help you if you're ever in conflict with any kind of rulings that have occurred in any requests that you've made to your academics.
Great, thank you. The first questions I'm going to ask are about Aspire AC. And the first one is, who is the best fit for the Aspire AC program?
So the best person to apply for Aspire AC is somebody who doesn't have a lot of people around them who can give them information about the culture of post-secondary and the norms. It's anybody from a diversity group who could take advantage of services such as a transition to college coach, a mentor, a peer navigator, a job coach, and those kind of things. It's supports to people who, you know, might not have the confidence, but definitely have the motivation to achieve a post-secondary degree or diploma.
Great, thank you. The next question is, if a client already has a college diploma or a university degree, can these individuals participate in Aspire AC?
Absolutely. Going back to college after you've been finished college is a whole different ballgame, and it's a new way to learn during COVID, and we're here to support you.
Great. And the last question related to Aspire AC is, can individuals access Aspire services out of regular hours? And how are these services being delivered during the COVID restrictions?
Okay, so you can register for Aspire services at any time. You register through our website. The services are all being delivered remotely. And so your registration will be triaged based on what you've requested with regards to the various supports of the service. And then the professional who provides that service will get in touch with you for your first appointment.
Great, thank you so much. Moving on to the Centre for Accessible Learning. The first question I have is, if a student is attending Algonquin this term, how do they arrange for academic accommodations with the Centre for Accessible Learning?
Okay, so first step would be to go to their website for Cal, and they have some pretty easy instructions. 1, 2, 3, and 4 are the steps to apply for the services of the Centre for Accessible Learning. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to go to their website and register and download some of the forms that you might need before your first appointment.
And what documentation is needed to register with the Centre for Accessible Learning? And how can a student register if they don't have disability documentation?
Okay, so the Centre for Accessible Learning at Algonquin College does accommodate students based on their functioning. So you do not need a full psych assessment in order to apply and have a first appointment. Once you have had your first appointment with a learning strategist and an individualized accommodation plan is made for you, if those accommodations do include things that require a psych assessment, you will have to go and get one, or if you've had one in the last 5 years, you can submit that. Until you determine what accommodations are needed, you won't really know what assessments will be required. But the paperwork just to get started is a registration form which you can download on the website.
Thank you. And the last question I have related to the Center for Accessible Learning is, how do virtual meetings with the Center for Accessible Learning staff work?
Okay, so they work similar to Zoom with a lot of security included in that. So you will be booked for an appointment through Clockwork. And then there's going to be a whole bunch of WebEx security put on your appointment so that your privacy is respected and the person supporting you is in a private place where nobody can hear or listen in or see. So everything is being done virtually, and you book your appointments by either calling the Welcome Center or emailing the Welcome Center.
Great, thank you. And I have two last questions for you today, and they're both related to the Office of the Ombudsman. The first one is, can you please share an example of a type of situation that the Office of the Ombudsman can assist with?
Okay, so I'll share some examples where I've actually gone to the meetings and supported students. So there was a student in a program where lab work is required, and the person missed 2 labs due to illness, and missing 2 labs for any reason required the person to reapply to the program. So the person really felt that that was inappropriate due to some of the health issues that they lived with. And so we made appointments with the Ombudsman and met with the academic area to see if there's anything that could be worked out for that student. So it's really a neutral body. It's not associated or supervised by anybody at the college. And so they're a neutral body that will try and work out academic conflicts with you and the college when you're in those situations. Of course, before you ever get to the Ombudsman's office, you want to try all the natural ways that you would normally resolve conflict.
Great, thank you. And if a student wishes to contact the Office of the Ombudsman, what is the best way to do so?
The best way is to call their office, and I believe somebody will put that up in the chat line, the phone number, and or email their office and just tell them you would like an initial appointment to discuss your situation with the Ombudsman.
Great, thank you so much, Martha. Next, I would like to welcome Nathaniel from the Mamidosewin Centre. Welcome, Nathaniel. Please tell us about your service.
Thank you, Leanne Miigwech. My name is Nathaniel Parent, Ondakin Indigenous. I work as the activities and representative at the Mamidosewin Centre, and the Mamidosewin Centre is our Indigenous Student Support Centre on campus. It's also a multicultural center, and we're really a gathering place, and that's actually what Mamidosewin means. It's Anishinaabe for the gathering place, or Ojibwe for walking together. So it's a hub that everyone can come and participate, learn about all the beautiful cultures here on Turtle Island, and share their cultures from around the world as well.
Great, thank you. So the first question is, what is the Mamidosewin Centre? A little bit more then.
Yeah, so the Mamidosewin Centre is really a place of coming and being. You can see it virtually in the background. We have a beautiful center on campus. Unfortunately, we can't be with our learners there this year, but we are virtual this year. So the Mamidosewin Centre is a hub to come in and a place to be in a culturally safe environment where we do our best to hold a space that is in alignment with our Indigenous teachings, the 7 sacred teachings, as well as finding that balance with the medicine wheel. So it's a place of belonging for all learners, and also faculty and support staff that want to learn more about the Indigenous cultures of Turtle Island as well.
And what are the different supports offered at the Mamidosewin Centre?
So we have 4 frontline support staff. We have an Aboriginal counselor, Jackie Tanute, who is available to learners to do both personal and academic counseling. So she is available through appointments, and often is at our events and activities, so you can access her that way. We also have an Indigenous Pathfinder. Gregory Phillips is his role is to guide learners throughout the college for whatever support services or any questions they might have. He's a great first point of contact for any questions, whether it's, how to access financial services or peer tutoring, basically all the support services that we're talking about here, Leanne. He is a point of contact to kind of make it a little bit easier to access and to navigate so that no one's falling through the cracks. We also have Jean Trenbath, who is our Cree school board representative. We have a physical office location on site, however, it is not open, but she is available virtually as well, and primarily helps Cree students with their funding and coordination of housing and things like that. They offer a whole range of services that is an independent service outside of Algonquin. And myself, I do activities and events that are seasonal and representative of our various cultural needs and students that are attending college classes at Algonquin. So we try to keep it as holistic and balanced as possible with respect to those events. And I'm always open to feedback from our learners about what events and activities they'd like to engage with.
So what is happening this fall, and how can students get involved?
Yeah, so we have a number of things happening this fall. The easiest way to get involved is to link up with us virtually on our Mamidosewin Facebook page, where we post regular occurring events as well as monthly special events. This fall, we started doing a virtual smudge and support circle every morning, starting at 9:30. We have a Zoom, Jackie runs a smudge on Facebook Live, and then that leads us into a Zoom meeting at 10 after 10, where students who have any questions at all just need to connect socially with other folks, or to have that support of an Aboriginal counselor. We gather. We also have an upcoming Orange Shirt Day event next Wednesday. Details can be found on our website, as well as MyC postings. We have Craft and Zoom every Thursday, where we engage with our activities and crafts. I also post a mobility movement is medicine activity on Fridays, just to unwind and promote that holistic and mind, body, spirit balance. And we also have some time management sessions, and there is a whole calendar of activities and events that learners can find on our Facebook page.
Thank you. And the last question I have for the Mamidosewin Centre today is, how can students contact the Mamidosewin Centre to find out more?
Yeah, so there's a number of ways that you can contact us. We have a Mamidosewin website that you can go and find all of our contact information for all the support staff and services that are there. It'll list our phone numbers and our emails. So whichever way you prefer, we can be accessed through that. As well as you can always reach out to us through the comments in our Facebook Live. And we're always vigilant to get back to our learners as soon as possible. And also we send out a mass email to all registered Indigenous learners to keep them updated on upcoming events. So learners should have received an email earlier this week. If for whatever reason you didn't and you'd like to receive that email, you can always email me and I'll add you to that list. So my email will be on the contacts page for our website. And yeah, those are the easiest ways to reach out to us.
Great. Thank you so much, Nathaniel. And thank you to Martha. It was a pleasure to have you both join us. If students have any additional questions related to Aspire AC, the Centre for Accessible Learning, the Mamidosewin Centre, or the Office of the Ombudsman, the Student Support Services website link will be posted in the chat now. And next in the Student Support Services lineup, I would like to welcome Amber from the Library, Student Learning Centre, and Peer Tutoring. Welcome, Amber. Please tell us about the 3 services that you are representing today.
Hi, Leanne. Thanks so much for having me. So, hi everyone. My name is Amber Schuler-Toll. I'm the coordinator of the Student Learning Center, but today I'm also here representing the library service as well. So the Student Learning Center is sort of a one-stop shop for all the services that students would need to help them succeed academically in their program. Specifically, that refers to things like peer tutoring, subject coaching, and our workshops that we have available. The Student Learning Center is open to all students, full-time, part-time, local, international, online, everybody's able to access it. And then speaking about the library is sort of what we traditionally think of a library, that it has all those resources and books and things you'll need for your program, but they also have a number of other services to help you navigate and use those tools and books and resources as well.
Great, thank you. We're going to jump right into questions. And the first ones I have are related to the Student Learning Center and peer tutoring. So how does a student sign up to get a tutor?
Really great question. So if you're looking for support of a peer tutor, and a peer tutor is someone who's an upper year student who has taken your program already and done very well academically, and so is able to provide you with very course-specific help. If you're looking for a tutor, you're going to want to go to our Student Learning Center website, algonquincollege.com/SLC, and I think that should be posted in the chat. And from there, you can see the list of programs that we have tutors for. If you see your program there, you'll just have to fill out the 2T registration form. And the next step would be also to be sure that you have money on your account. There is a cost to peer tutoring. It costs $8 an hour. And so to pay for that, you need to have money on your AC card account, which is what Olivia was talking a little bit about earlier. So we have the link right on our website to log into your AC card and put money on your account. From there, once you've completed those two steps, if your program is there on our website, you can literally just click your program and see the courses that are available for tutoring and the schedules for those tutors as well.
What if a student can't afford to pay for tutoring?
Yeah, really great question, because that comes up a lot. So if the $8 an hour is something that you don't feel like you'd be able to cover, we recommend that you still reach out to the Student Learning Center. We have things called sponsorships, and these are where we work with different departments around the college where they may be able to help students cover that cost of $8 an hour. So for example, financial aid, the International Education Center, AC Aspire, are different examples of different departments. So if you reach out to us and explain your situation, we may be able to help you navigate that and work with those departments to be able to get that sponsorship to pay. Another tip, if you can't afford for the peer tutoring, is something that we have called coaching. And coaching is a free service where we have experts in different subjects that are going to be needed across multiple programs. So for example, math, writing, computers, anatomy, and even ESL. And students can book time with these subject coaches for free and get a little bit of support that way. It won't be as course specific because they offer support to all students, but it still may be able to help you if you're looking for help in your course. And then finally, there's also all kinds of free workshops that we offer as well. And so depending on the kind of help or support that you need, you may be able to attend one of these free workshops and that there's no cost associated with that either.
Great, thank you. And the last question I have related to Student Learning Center and peer tutoring, are you able just to reiterate where the student can where the student can find the information about getting a tutor and where a student can sign up to be a peer tutor?
Great question as well. So all that information is actually both on our website. So to sign up to get a tutor, again, just go to the studentlearningcenter.slc and click on the peer tutoring site. And that's where we list all the programs that we have a tutor. If students are looking to become a tutor, we do have very sort of set times throughout the year where we accept applications. And so that information is going to be found on our website when we are not accepting applications. It's not an ongoing application. There's sort of set periods of time. So please check on our website and we have that information about when we'll be hiring tutors or not on our website.
Great, thank you. And moving over to the library, how do students access ebooks and journals from home?
Yeah, so the library has all kinds, tens of thousands of these ebooks and resources that students can use. The easiest way to access them all is just going right to the library website. And from there, you're going to search for any resource in their main search area. And you're going to log in. The username or login is going to be your student number, and the password or PIN is just going to be the last four numbers of your student number. So it's very, very easy to access, and then you can access all of the digital resources that they have available.
Can students still get physical books or other resources?
Absolutely. So if your program has resources like tools or things to lend out or any books specifically for your program, students can place those programs on hold. And twice a week, the library staff will be putting these resources in this black locker that's found actually in the library space. And students can access the locker by scanning your student card. It'll open up and you can take the resource or book that's been put aside for you.
Great, thank you. And the last question I have today is, are you still able to help students find what they are looking for?
Yeah, so if you do have any questions for the library about books or resources or things that you're looking for, they do have a chat. It's open every day, Monday to Thursday, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. So right into the evening if you're doing some evening research. And Friday it's available from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Great, thank you, Amber. It was a pleasure to have you join us. If students have any additional questions related to the Student Learning Center, the library, or peer tutoring, the Student Support Services website link will be reposted in the chat now. And last but not least, for Student Support Services, we have Tanya from Project In Kind. Welcome, Tanya. Please tell us about your service.
Hi, everybody. It's really great to be here. Project In Kind is the first ever global movement championing in-kind giving in order to achieve the UN Sustainable Development Goals. And we've been working very closely with SLIDE and the Hub and Algonquin's Volunteer Center for a number of months now, getting ready for students in order to support them to share their skills and knowledge with community organizations who have needs for those skills and knowledge services. So we're leveraging the power of philanthropy and social impact to make a big change in our communities. And that's what we're going to be rolling out, is all kinds of fun programming and events to do that.
Great, thank you, Tanya. It's a pleasure to have you with us. The first question I have for you today is, what is in-kind giving?
Yeah, thanks for asking. You know, a lot of people might know the term in kind and think of it as a tax term if you're in accounting. And other than that, most people don't actually know what it means. So we've decided to give it a fairly broad definition. And to give in kind is to understand that you have more than money to offer to the causes that you care about and to make a difference. So giving skills, services, goods, and other non-cash resources is a great way to personally connect with a cause while acknowledging that you can meet a real need in your community and serve others around you. So a lot of charity and impact discussions always kind of feel like very money focused. In our case, we're building an army at the college and a global army of philanthropists and social impactors and change makers that are actually doing the change and creating the impact and doing philanthropy by sharing those skills, services, and goods and other non-cash resources.
Great. What is the hashtag 1 billion in kind challenge?
So the 1 billion in kind challenge is part of our bigger global focus and global movement and goal to support the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. And so we are challenging students and the college and those in our community to join us to count to 1 billion in-kind actions with us in support of the UN Sustainable Development Goals. So every 1 hour of service, every 1 item that's donated, every one of the in-kind things that we lay out count toward achieving that goal. And we're going to be working on it for the next 10 years.
And how does this project relate to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals?
So right now, the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals are fairly high level. Not a lot of people really understand what they mean, but these are the goals that countries around the world have committed to, like reducing or ending poverty, achieving equality, finding sustainable ways to protect the earth, the water, and our communities. They're fantastic goals. There's 17 of them. And so we're going to be making sure that everyone on the campus, virtually or physically, has a chance to actually learn about them and then actually connect them to day-to-day activities. So we don't always realize that we're part of a big global effort to create change just by recycling something, or by teaching someone how to write a resume so they can get a job, or by, you know, offering some of our yoga ninja skills with the community to help people achieve some well-being. So our whole focus is going to be around showing the tangible efforts that can be made and counting them and celebrating them program with the college campus. And then, of course, we connect all of these to measurement frameworks through our online platform with the SDGs. So that's how we relate. And there'll be all kinds of fun announcements coming up in the next couple of weeks about this program and the multiple programs part of it, as well as how students can get co-curricular credit for taking part.
And how can students participate in Project In Kind and the 1 billion In Kind challenge?
Yeah, absolutely. Great question. So students can participate in a number of different ways. One of them is by being an ambassador for the project and inspiring others around them to join and do those small efforts that will add up to 1 billion. And so there'll be an announcement on the ambassador program shortly. And we're looking for 100 ambassadors at Algonquin. So if anybody's interested that's listening, please reach out, let me know. Another way that students can get engaged is through their coursework and their different requirements for class. If there's a project opportunity, they can definitely look at our materials and think about how they could plan the impact into their schoolwork. And then a third and probably the easiest way for our students to get engaged is to actually volunteer and give in kind to the wonderful organizations that Algonquin supports through the student volunteering program. And we'll be having a live platform to help students find those opportunities, as well as all kinds of guidance and learning opportunities throughout the year.
Great, thank you so much. And the last question I have for you today, Tanya, is how can a student learn more about getting involved in Project In Kind?
Wonderful. Best question, of course. So please check out our website at www.projectinkind.org. Over the course of the next few weeks, there's going to be all kinds of announcements and new information, templates, planning, all kinds of ways that students can get engaged, as well as a series of campus activities that are going to be rolling out. So I would say go to www.projectinkind.org now and register your email, and then you'll be, of course, on our mailing list and in the loop with everything, and keep an eye out for us across campus through the various channels and networks that are already there.
Great. Thank you, Tanya. It was a pleasure to have you join us today.
Likewise. Thanks so much. It's a pleasure to be here.
And as Tanya mentioned, stay tuned for the next couple weeks when Project In Kind is going to be launching at Algonquin College to find out how you can get involved. If you would like to receive additional information related to Project In Kind or any of the student support services, the website links will be reposted in the chat now. And up next, we would like to welcome two representatives to discuss the health and wellness support available virtually on campus. First up today, we have Rose on behalf of Health Services. Welcome, Rose. Please tell us about your service.
Hi, Leanne. Hi, everyone. I am Rose, a health promotion and education coordinator with Health Services at Algonquin College. And at Health Services, we have a great team of medical doctors, nurses, and a mental health nurse. And we do support patients through individualized and confidential health and wellness care. We do also have a telemedicine psychiatric clinic in partnership with the Royal Ottawa Mental Health Centre. And we have a health promotion team, which I am part of, and we aim to engage the students into improving their health through the Algonquin College community.
Great, thank you so much. We're going to jump right into questions. And the first one I have today is Health Services open and what are the business hours?
Health Services open from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m., Monday to Friday, by appointment only.
And is Health Services testing for COVID-19 at this time?
COVID-19 testing is not available at our clinic, but we recommend everyone to check with Ottawa Public Health website for more information about COVID-19 testing.
What medical services does Health Services offer?
Great. So at Health Services, we have medical care. We do have prescriptions. We do also have blood tests. So we have blood testing and results are received through our clinic. We only do blood work that is ordered through our physicians, and we do not accept requisitions from outside doctors. We do also have PAP testing, STI testing, and immunizations. So for immunizations for students in preparation for clinical placements. And at the Ottawa campus, we have all required vaccinations and TB tests. We do also have birth control information. And as I mentioned, mental health support through the psychiatric clinic. And we do also have smoking cessation support. So students can talk to a doctor for more information or prescriptions.
Great. How does the student make an appointment at health services, and what do they need to do so?
Great question. So all visits, as I mentioned, to health services must be pre-booked by telephone at 613-727-4723, extension 7222. So we are no longer accepting walk-ins at this time due to safety protocols. And we are booking a telephone or video appointment whenever possible. In most cases, needs can be met through a phone or a video appointment. An in-person appointment will only be booked when deemed necessary by a nurse or a doctor. And verification of health card and the student ID is done through phone before the appointment.
What is the role of the health promo team, and how does the student stay connected to their events?
Great one. So at Health Promo, we aim to engage students into improving health and wellness. And we have 6 pillars of health to promote, including general health, such as cold and the flu, sleep, hygiene, nutrition and fitness, mental health, sexual health, and substance use information. So we have small to large scale initiatives and events. And currently we have our online virtual yoga. It's every other Monday. We had actually one yesterday, and the coming one will be October 5th at 12 p.m. We also have Steep and Sleep initiative, and we have health and wellness quick tips videos. So those can be accessed at the social media channels and through Student Support Services events page.
Great. What are the safety measures that health services is taking in light of current events?
A great one as well, and the team has done a great job. So our priority is safety for patients and the staff. So all visits to health services must be pre-booked by telephone. As I mentioned, we no longer accepting walk-ins. In addition, visitors are asked to wait outside of health services as only people with booked appointments are allowed to enter the clinic. Also, our doors are locked, and patients who book to see a doctor or a nurse have to call by phone when they arrived. We advise people not to come to health services unannounced, and only people with booked appointments can present to health services, and all clinic patients must wear a mask. We do also have the physical distancing measures are taken into consideration, and the COVID-19 screening is done through phone before they are admitted to the clinic.
Great, thank you. And we have time for one last question related to health services. What online supports, resources, and events do you have at this time?
Wonderful. So I do encourage students to check our health services website. And as part of health promotion, we have the virtual yoga. We have Steep and Sleep, which help in setting sleep routines and aid in falling asleep. We also have the health and wellness quick tips, which are a series of videos tackling health topic of the month. So I encourage everyone to check the health services website. We have great information there about many health topics and other initiatives that we have done previously. So they can check on the website Nutrition Around the World, which is challenges and initiative about nutrition and educational tips around it. So we have great stuff, and I encourage everyone to keep an eye on posting on social media.
Great. Thank you, Rose, for joining us today. If students have any additional questions related to health services, the website link will be posted in the chat now.
Thank you so much.
And now we have Sarah on behalf of Counseling Services, Project Lighthouse, and the Umbrella Project. Welcome, Sarah. Please tell us about the 3 services that you are representing today.
Perfect. Okay, so I'm doing 3 services. The first one is Project Lighthouse. It's our sexual violence prevention and harm reduction initiative, or just sexual violence prevention initiative on campus. So we talk all about consent and dating and healthy relationships. The Umbrella Project is all about harm reduction, so safer use of alcohol and other drugs. And Counseling Services is our on-campus service for anyone who would like to speak to a counselor.
Great. Thank you, Sarah. We are going to start off today with 3 questions related to counseling services.
Okay.
So the first one is, what topics can a student talk to a counselor about?
Awesome. So counseling services can help students with all kinds of different things. So they can do career counseling. So if you're not sure what you want to do once you're finished post-secondary, they can talk to you about that. They can talk to you about mental health or any anxiety, depression you might be having. Even if you're just feeling overwhelmed, or, you know, school's been really hard, or you're having a time where you're not feeling as confident as you did before, counseling can help with that. We also have tons of groups that can be offered, and all of them have different focuses. So you can find someone or something to fit your needs for anything related to mental health and well-being.
Are there any additional services offered by counseling services?
Yeah, so Counseling Services has lots of different counselors. Like I said, they do things like career clarity, where they can really help students focus on something that they might be interested in the future, and figuring out what programs they should take, and making sure they're in the right one for the careers that they're hoping for. We have counselors that one specific to doing the groups. So the groups that they run are, there's a mindfulness group that's run every week. So they'll be on the Counseling Services website, which we'll post. But each week there's mindfulness ones, there's ones on DBT. So really different services that can fit everyone's needs. We also have, sorry, one more thing too. We also have a consultant from the Ottawa Rape Crisis Center who can help anyone who's experienced sexual violence.
And how does a student register to speak with a counselor?
Great question. So if you check in with the Welcome Center, they will be able to book an appointment. So the group counseling website will be posted, as well as the Welcome Center. So you can either email or phone the Welcome Center. They will connect you with a counselor and make you a booked appointment to be able to see someone.
Great, thank you. And moving along to Project Lighthouse, is Project Lighthouse currently offering virtual events?
Yeah, we have tons of virtual events. We actually have one tonight called Hot Drinks and Hot Topics. We are going to be talking about sexting and online dating, as well as anything else that people might want to. We kind of theme them, but if things go off a little, basically it's a really informal session. People come, everyone gets a Starbucks gift card for attending, and they can ask questions about anything they want to do related to sex and sexual health. There's different ones on substance use and mental health, but this week's one is sexting. But we have lots of other events coming up, like Glitter and Gabs. Every Thursday we do a Facebook Live, Ask an Expert series. So there's lots of things coming up that will all be on the calendar.
Where does a student go if they have questions about consent or sexual violence?
Yeah, great. So we have the Project Lighthouse website. It has a section on more resources, and there's like guides to asking for consent or talking about it with your partner. They can also check out our Facebook Lives that we've done. So we've done a lot of different sessions. They're all themed and have different topics. Or one of our Hot Drinks and Hot Topics would be really good to come to because it's a great way for us to be able to ask questions and get answers. You know, there's a whole whole group, and people usually are talking about their experiences. And so it's really like a fun, informal way. It's a little bit less PG rated than our Facebook Live. So we really answer the questions that our students want to know.
And if a student wanted to talk to someone about sexual violence, who would that be?
Yeah, so we have on the website there's all the resources on and off campus that students could contact. So on campus, we do have someone from the Ottawa Rape Crisis Center who can meet with students and discuss different outreach, awareness, and counseling appointments that they might want. We also have the website will be able to direct people to local resources, because we do have some in Perth and Pembroke as well. So we want to make sure that our students across Ontario are supported.
Thank you. And lastly, today I've got questions related to the Umbrella Project.
Awesome.
And the first one is, who can a student talk to about substance use?
Yeah, that's a great question. So currently on campus, we have all of our counselors are trained to do, or some of our counselors are trained to do harm reduction consultations. So basically, if a student has concerns about their use of alcohol and other drugs, or a family or friend's use of alcohol and other drugs, they can book a session with one of the counselors who will be able to provide education and awareness about substance use. We also have on our website a thing called eChug and eToke, and those are self-assessment tools to see if your use is similar to use of other students. So just to see if you're using more or less or about the same. And so it might kind of give you a tool to see and monitor how much you're using. But yeah, you can book a harm reduction consultation with any of the counselors, and they'll be able to provide resources.
Great, thank you. And the last question I have today is, how can a student keep themselves and their friends safe?
That's a great question. So there's so many great ways to practice harm reduction. So when we talk about our everyday lives with things like wearing a seatbelt, or a helmet, are ways to protect ourselves, even though we're doing activities that could cause harm, right? So driving a car could be harmful if you got into an accident. And so using alcohol and other drugs is the same. It could cause harm. And so we want to be able to do that in the safest way possible. Things like using with a friend, even for alcohol, right? We want to make sure we have people to be able to support us if we're too intoxicated. But also it's possible that people could have an overdose. And so another tip would be to carry a naloxone kit. We will have some more naloxone trainings coming up. They'll be on the events calendar as well. And everyone in Ontario will get sent a free naloxone kit. But basically you can get one from the pharmacist for free. You can also visit naloxonecare.com and they'll mail anyone in Ontario one. But they reverse the signs of an opiate overdose. So it's something great to have because you could save someone's life. And then really just making sure that that we're using with friends, because again, you can't save yourself. So yeah, those are some tips. But for more, you can check out the Umbrella Project website. We've got safer use guidelines. And so they talk about all the different substances, and you can kind of click each one and see whatever drug you're thinking of using. There's safer ways to do it on the website.
Great. Thank you, Sarah. It was a pleasure to have you join us.
Thanks so much. Have a good day.
You as well. If students have any additional questions related to counseling services, Project Lighthouse, or the Umbrella Project, their website links will be posted in the chat now. And up next, we are excited to welcome Michelle from the International Education Centre. Welcome, Michelle. Please tell us about your service.
Hi, Leanne. Thanks so much for having me here today. So the International Education Centre is a center on campus that is involved heavily with international students. So recruiting them to come to Algonquin, which is a big feat. And we're very grateful for all the international students who have chosen Algonquin College. So we're very grateful. And our support center supports international students who are currently studying and who are with us.
Great. How does the International Education Centre help students?
So the big thing is we are a support center. So we fully understand that international students who join Algonquin College may have some challenges with the adjustment to Canada, Algonquin, the way that we conduct our studies, the support services that are related. the support services that are available to students. But the biggest part is that international students are regulated by Immigration, Refugees, and Citizenship Canada. So we are here to help support students with all the rules and regulations that they are expected to follow.
And what services do you provide?
So a lot of immigration assistance. We have currently 2 international student advisors who are licensed to provide immigration information to international students, and 2 others who are close to getting their license. So we should be a team of 4 very soon to assist students with immigration needs and application assistance and all of that. We also provide service in helping students integrate. So we offer a lot of events, a lot of information sessions, and so much more.
How can students contact you?
They can contact us right now because of the current pandemic. The best way to contact us is at our email, iecsupport@algonquincollege.com. Students can pretty much send just about any question or inquiry to this email, and somebody will reach out fairly soon.
How can new international students get involved and meet other new students?
So we have a fantastic mentorship program and a lot of events and activities that are being held virtually for students. So students who are interested in perhaps having a mentor help them with their adjustment can reach out to us and we can connect these students to a mentor. To find out about events and so much more, we have an events page where we add all sorts of activities, events, information sessions, immigration sessions. We even have representatives from immigration that come usually once a semester to help students understand the path towards becoming a permanent resident, for example. Anyways, we have a lot of services to help these students join in all sorts of activities, mentorship, and all of these things.
What kind of health insurance do international students have?
That's a great question. We provide health insurance to international students through GuardMe. And GuardMe is the policy holder of the health insurance that international students receive. It's very similar to what Canadians have in terms of the coverage. So if you're feeling unwell and you want to see a doctor or perhaps prescription medication is also covered under the health insurance policy, not for Canadians, but for international students. But if an international student is feeling unwell and wants to see a doctor, their appointment will be covered through GuardMe. International students will have access to their policy and so much more information about the health insurance that's provided to their AC Live email. The information is never sent to the student's personal email. So it's very important that students are checking their AC Live email accounts. And I'll just add, there are usually 2 folders, a focused folder and an other folder. Sometimes the emails from GuardMe will sneak their way into the other folder that is usually not the primary folder that students are receiving a lot of their email communication from. So we just encourage international students to check both folders so that that important health insurance email does not get lost.
Is there financial help for international students?
There's not a whole lot of financial help for international students because international students, when they apply for the study permit, they have to indicate or prove that they have the financial means to support their living expenses and tuition fees for the duration of their studies here in Canada. So there's certainly not a lot available. However, for students who have experienced a crisis situation, an emergency, maybe something has changed in terms of the financial supports that they have, we encourage the students to reach out to our email, iecsupport@algonquincollege.com, to tell us a little bit more about their situation and see what we can do to help.
The next question is, can international students work more hours due to COVID-19?
It's a great question. Immigration did provide some exceptions to how many hours students could work if they worked in essential services, but this exception to the rule expired on August 31st, 2020. So it's no longer in existence. International students have to respect the current rules as they apply for on or off campus work while they're studying.
Can international students study online, and will there be any impacts to future postgraduate work permit?
Excellent question. I know that we have a lot of international students who are currently studying in their home country because they're able to study remotely. So as long as students are registered in a program that would normally be held on campus, but the program is offered online because of the pandemic, the students, IRCC Immigration has announced that there will be no impact for the postgraduate work permit if students commence these online studies in May or in September, and as long as the studies end in April. We can tell you a lot more. This is just a snippet of a more complex topic, which we can talk about at our IRCC drop-in sessions that you'll find on the events calendar for IRCC information.
What is the easiest and efficient way for students to get important updates and reminders?
This is a great question. So we've launched a brand new app for international students. It's called iCent, I-C-E-N-T. It's an app that you can find on your app store. It's free. You would choose Canada as the country, Algonquin College as the institution. It will give you access to everything I've talked about, the events, the activities, the info sessions, important immigration sessions where we have our partners with IRCC join in to help students understand the path to permanent resident status. So health insurance information and so much more is all found on this app, iCent, I-C-E-N-T.
And the last question I have today for the International Education Center is, what is the most comprehensive guide and reference tool for international students throughout their study at Algonquin College?
The iCent app. Of course, we have Study Succeed in Canada course, which is offered on Brightspace as well. This course was designed to help students from the time that they start their studies all the way through to graduation. It has all sorts of important support and resource information for international students, along with important IRCC related information as well.
Great. Thank you for joining us today, Michelle.
Thanks for having me.
If students have any additional questions related to the International Education Center, the website link will be posted in the chat now. And lastly, today, we are excited to welcome 3 representatives to discuss student experience available virtually on campus. So first up today is Matthew from Applied Research, Innovation, and Entrepreneurship. Welcome, Matthew. Please tell us about your service.
Hi, Leanne. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate everyone here taking the time to explain all the awesome services that are available to Algonquin College students and the community. Thank you. So to talk about mine, because that's why I'm here, is ARIE. I work in the ARIE office. We refer to Applied Research, Innovation, and Entrepreneurship as ARIE because after a while it gets to be a little bit of a mouthful. So it simplifies things a little bit. So from here on out, I'm going to call it ARIE just for simplicity's sake. So our office is Applied Research, and that provides students with opportunities to use their education, their skills, and their knowledge before they actually graduate, which is really important and a great skill or great opportunities to take advantage of. They can come in the form of applied research projects, which can be done in the classroom or also outside of the classroom as paid positions. And then there's an industry partner. So you work with an industry partner and you gain experience discussing what and working for and putting your skills to use in regards to in the workforce, because it's really different to be doing things as somebody who's studying and then somebody who's in getting paid to do a job. And then in terms of innovation and entrepreneurship, We give entrepreneurs at the college help with their ideas, getting them off the ground in the form of the makerspace where they can prototype and create different objects, and in the form of mentorship and workshops through the Entrepreneurship Centre.
Great, thank you so much. So the first question I have today is, what types of projects are you working on in applied research, innovation, and entrepreneurship?
So thank you. We have a number of projects ongoing all the time. So this will be a brief highlight. And of course, there's projects that are under NDA, so I'm not allowed to talk about them, and they're really exciting, but we can't, let them out of the bag yet. But some of the ones that I can talk to and that are have been ongoing for a little while and have some worldwide reach. One is Masterpiece VR. Some students may have tried it. It's available on Steam, and you can create basically visual art and sculpture, as well as animations through virtual reality software and hardware. Then there's the Adobe Portfolio Project. So we work with Adobe and help students that normally typically wouldn't have a portfolio, like a trades student, to showcase their work in a digital way, which is super pertinent right now, I would say. So look out for some of that and what we're doing with that in the future. Another random fun one is an underwater metal detector, which is pretty cool that we just developed one. It's one of the first ones in the world that shows you with a visual instead of a sound, because sound is hard underwater. And then Cheetah Networks. Everyone's heard about 5G, and we work with Cheetah Networks to develop some products and services for 5G and how that's going to look moving forward.
Great. What type of students are typically employed with the Applied Research, Innovation, and Entrepreneurship? And are there any openings now?
Right, so there definitely are openings. They happen usually at the beginning of the semester, so this is a good time to start applying. Some of them have already been held, so if you're looking for ones in the future, always check in sort of December, the month before, and then the current month of the semester. It's really good. But the best place to hear about them is on our website. So usually in our posts page or our news page, you'll see a post that says we have jobs available, here's the requirements. We also post them on Facebook and on LinkedIn a lot of the time, even on Twitter or Instagram when we do. So yeah, there's a whole host of jobs applications available right now, so you can go check them out.
Can students volunteer with ARIE, and are there openings now?
Yes, actually, we're always kind of looking for people to volunteer on different research projects, but as well, Tanya was here earlier and she was talking about Project In Kind. We're actually supporting that, and we helped build some of that. So I would like to say that also you could become an ambassador. I think that would be a really awesome thing to throw it back to that comment. It's a really good to support the sustainability development goals from the UN, and that's a great volunteer opportunity.
You mentioned workshops. What type of workshops are there, and how much do they cost?
So workshops are always free to this date. We have not held a workshop that costs any money. We're hoping to continue to do that. Although if we want to up our game, sometimes that. But right now they're all free. I think there are 19 workshops planned for this coming semester, which is awesome. They focus on entrepreneurship skills. So there's building a Shopify store, there's the legal structures of business, all things that you're going to need to know if you're looking to start a business, to get mentorship and that kind of thing. And then also through the makerspace, we want people to discover skills that maybe aren't part of their typical studies, but that can heighten what they know and what they do and how they learn. So we teach 3D introduction to 3D design. We teach introduction to Arduino, which helps you build robots. And these things all sound daunting at first, but I swear we have amazing people showing you these skills. So it's for beginners. You don't have to know a single thing to walk into the room. And that's the main goal of most of these workshops, is that you just have curiosity about the topic and you're willing to take a risk.
ARIE sounds like such a creative and cool place. Despite the fact that we're connecting digitally right now, is there a way for students to tour some of ARIE facilities virtually?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's two different ways, actually. There's the virtual tours, which are always there. They're always open. There's some links that can be shared that I've provided. And you can just go and click through, and it's sort of, a 3D version of the space that you can interact with and see what equipment's there, and sort of check it out that way. But there's also now on our website the ability to book virtual consults. And so you can engage some of the different centers in different ways. Specifically in the makerspace, we have the 3D printing available. So you can get help making a model, and then engage the printer remotely. You can also do that with the laser cutter as well. If you didn't know you wanted a laser cutter, try one and you definitely will want one. Christmas ornaments or holiday gifts and things like that are awesome to make on it. And you can also, to finish it off, book a virtual tour for yourself, your friends, and frankly for classrooms. I've been doing them all day today, actually going to different classes and virtually touring people through the makerspace, which is super fun.
Great, thank you so much. And the last question we have time for today is, what is the best way for students to find out more about applied research, innovation, and entrepreneurship? And can they connect with you on social media?
Yes, please connect with us on social media. We're always pushing out new information, both our events and other events around the college. So it's just another avenue. I know it's a loud world out there, so another avenue to hear about all of the things that are happening at Algonquin College. We do our best to not just promote ourselves, but also every other thing that we think is important at the college. But really, it's through the website. You can email me, which you can find on the website, or you can just fill out a random request form. There's a bunch of different ways to reach out to us, but most of them are all on our website or over social media. And we get an email directly to our inbox, and we're happy to answer any questions. There's a lot to say about the whole office and what we do, so I've touched on a very brief amount of this stuff. So I really hope that the students will reach out, participate in these things. It's really important, especially now, to get involved as much as you can, because some of the college experience that really is crucial is that getting involved with different things and meeting new people, even if it's virtually.
Great, thank you, Matthew. It was a pleasure to have you join us today.
Absolutely, it was a pleasure. Thank you.
If students have any additional questions related to applied research, innovation, and entrepreneurship, their website link will be posted in the chat now.
A little hasty there, I turned off my camera, sorry.
And next, we'd like to welcome Patrick from the Algonquin Students Association. Welcome, Patrick. Please tell us about your services.
Hey, Leanne. Yeah, so like Leanne said, my name is Patrick. I'm the Senior Manager of Student Life for the Students Association. The Student Association encompasses quite a bit on all three of our campuses. So we own and operate a number of different services and facilities. Everything from the health and dental plan from domestic students to the campus Starbucks, the observatory, our campus lounge, all of the athletics programming across all three campuses, including our fitness zone, as well as varsity sports, clubs and communities, our wellness and equity center, the food cupboard, events, the Algonquin Commons Theater, which is our 800-person theater on the Ottawa campus. I'm sure I'm missing a few things in there. And obviously our board of directors, which is kind of the student government that manages our organization.
Great, Patrick. Thank you so much. The first question is actually about the board of directors. Can you tell us about that and what their role is?
Yeah, for sure. So the board of directors are all full-time students that are the students' representation to the college administration. So there's currently 6 of them. Robbie Richter is our vice president, Emily Ferguson is our president. And then there's 4 other general directors, 1 on Perth, 1 on Pembroke, and then the other 2 are at the Ottawa campus. These students really take student concerns to the upper echelons. They meet with the college president regularly, the VPs, things like that, and they bring students' concerns forward.
What type of programming and services is the Algonquin Students Association offering to students during the COVID-19 closures?
Great question. So our fitness zone, so our gym, our gym across all 3 campuses are currently open for students. So students can attend any of those campuses to go work out at the fitness zone if that's something they choose to do. Our gymnasium on the Ottawa campus and the Pembroke campus are open to shoot basketball hoops. You do have to schedule a time, but they are open for you to visit. Our Wellness and Equity Center on our Ottawa campus is open on Mondays and Wednesdays. Our food cupboard is open on Mondays and Wednesdays as well as serving students remotely across all 3 campuses, which is something that's great. Our club's office is open on Tuesdays. Unfortunately, right now, the Algonquin Commons Theater is closed until further notice, obviously due to COVID and off-campus events. The observatory, so the on-campus lounge, is open. The landing on the Pembroke campus is open, and the Starbucks on campus on the Ottawa campus is open as well.
So the Algonquin Students Association manages our varsity athletics and fitness program. What's happening in that department?
Yeah, that's a great question. So varsity sports, the OCAA, which oversees all varsity sports at the college level in Ontario, decided to cancel all fall sports due to COVID. They haven't made a decision. That decision for the winter semester is supposed to come mid-October about what will happen to varsity sports mid-October. But currently right now, varsity sports are suspended. Our fitness center, like I said, across all 3 campuses are currently open for students to attend. And at our Ottawa campus, actually, we're lucky enough to be building an athletics and recreation center currently, which we open in time. May 2021 is our ideal opening date. So if anyone is coming to the Ottawa campus or driving by the Ottawa campus, you'll see this very large building. It's going to be the largest building on the Ottawa campus, which is very exciting. 3 different gyms, bowling lanes, a new restaurant, a rock climbing wall, all sorts of exciting stuff really coming to that center.
Great, thank you. The next question is, the Algonquin Students Association covers the domestic student health and dental plan. Can you tell us more about the plan details and what it covers?
Yeah, for sure. So domestic students, meaning you are a Canadian citizen. That's very confusing, I think, to some students. The international students, they have a health and dental plan, or they have a health plan. It's covered under the International Student Center. It doesn't cover dental. Well, our plan does. So there's 4 different plans. There's a general plan that covers you for basically everything at a certain percentage. There's a dental specific plan. There's a pharmaceutical specific plan, and then there's an eye care specific plan. And you can change between what plan makes sense for you. You have the first 30 days of the semester to do so. So they have until October 2nd to do so. You can find more information about the plan at wespeakstudent.com. It has all the details. I'm sure the link is in the chat because it's probably the #1 question I get all the time. So yeah, the health plan's great. You can also opt out of the health plan if you're already covered. So if you're covered under someone else, you can opt out of the health plan and get that money back.
Great, thank you. And the last question I have today for you is, are there any other Algonquin Students Association services, resources, or events that you would like to highlight?
Yeah, for sure. We have tons of stuff going on. So if you check out algonquinsa.com/events, there's tons of different great virtual events that we are putting on. Next week is the start to our Campus Pride Week that's being all done virtually, which is very exciting. So just keep an eye on our social, keep an eye on our website, just the different exciting things. I know this is kind of a tough time. We're going through, like, what do virtual events look like? How do I stay connected to students through the internet or through Zoom? But we're doing a lot of great things for students right now. So make sure to stay connected, whether it be via social media or via our website, and stay tuned. I know one big concern that students are always hitting me up about is graduation photos. That's something that we didn't get to finish in the fall or in the winter semester because of COVID. We are bringing grad photos back. They'll be done off campus and dates will be announced next week.
Great, thank you, Patrick. It was a pleasure to have you join us, and it's a pleasure to partner with the Algonquin Students Association on today's Campus Village event.
Thanks, Dan.
If students have any additional questions related to the Algonquin Students Association, their website link will be posted in the chat now. And our last representative today is Laura from the AC Hub and Volunteer Center. Welcome, Laura. Please tell us about the services you're representing today.
Hi, Leanne. Hi, everyone. So I am Laura McClellan. I am the Student Engagement Information and Outreach Coordinator with the AC Hub. So the AC Hub is part of Student Support Services, and we are a department focused on a culture of engagement, student engagement. And we do that through connection. And so that means connection with your peers, connection with the Algonquin College community, and then connection as well with the broader Ottawa community.
Great, thank you so much for joining us today. So the first question I have from students is, what is the AC Hub?
Yeah, that's a great question, because when you hear the AC Hub, it's not self-explanatory. So the AC Hub is Algonquin College's Student Engagement Center. So in non-COVID times, we're a beautiful open concept space on campus where students can study, they can collaborate, and they can attend events. But beyond the physical space, the AC Hub provides opportunities to learn new skills and get involved in campus life outside of the classroom through the different events we offer. The goal of our events in the AC Hub is to give you the opportunity to discover new skills and passions, also to hear inspiring speakers, to learn about a variety of different industries that you might not know about, meet new people, and just kind of have fun. We know that the classes are so important when you're here, but it's also important to find that balance and to have some time to unwind and relax and maybe get involved in something that you normally wouldn't. And so we bring you those opportunities.
Great. The AC Hub events sound awesome. What kind of events does the AC Hub host?
Well, you are right about that, Leanne. The AC Hub events are awesome. So by design, the AC Hub offers events to appeal to a wide range of interests. So we try and have something for everyone. Since COVID, our events that often were in person previously have all been adapted to our virtual. And you can check out our events calendar to see what events are coming up. You can also see what our past events have been by watching our recordings that are on our AC Hub website. So just to give you an example of some of the types of events we host and will be hosting, we have cooking demos, tips on food styling. We had an event about how to start your own podcast, how to prepare for virtual and phone interviews. We had an event on managing your finances during COVID-19. We have all kinds of wonderful motivational speakers, stuff on health and fitness, and really so much more than that. That's just a little touch of all the events we offer.
What are Third Thursdays?
Yeah, so Third Thursdays are the AC Hub signature speaker series. We host these once a month, and we bring in local experts from the Ottawa area. So experts and innovators to share stories that are designed to inspire and empower our listeners. And just to give you a little bit more information, our most recent Third Thursday was the owners of local businesses North and Navy, Viens avec moi, and Little Victories, who talked about their unique experiences adapting their businesses during COVID-19.
Great, thank you. And the last question I have for the AC Hub today, Laura, is where can students find out what's going on and where do they find the events calendar?
For sure. So there's a couple ways that you can find out what's going on in the AC Hub. So one is our events calendar, and that is on our Student Support Services website. And I think we will get the link to that posted in the chat. But also when you log on to Brightspace, and I know probably all of our learners are using Brightspace for their courses, so you'll also see our events. I think they come up on the right side when you log into Brightspace there. So you can see our upcoming events there as well. But another great way to stay connected and know what's going on in the AC Hub is to follow us on social media. We are very active. We love social. We love when you also share your photos and connect with us on social. So you can follow us, Algonquin Student Services. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on Instagram, and we do share about our upcoming events there as well.
Great. Thank you, Laura, for joining us today.
Thank you so much. And I hope that you all get involved in our upcoming virtual events.
And if students have any additional questions related to the AC Hub, or if they want to check out that events calendar and past event recordings and what's happening next, the website link is going to be posted in the chat now. And I just want to give one last thank you to all the representatives who joined today for your campus network. It takes a village. I also want to thank all the Algonquin College students who attended today, either through the live Zoom event, through Facebook Live, or who will watch this recording once it's posted on the Algonquin College orientation website. The AC Hub is proud to host a variety of free virtual events to the entire Algonquin College community. For more information about the AC Hub, our upcoming events, and to watch recordings, please visit the Student Support Services event calendar. There's going to be a link posted in the chat. And our next AC Hub virtual event is tomorrow, Wednesday, September 23rd at 4:30 p.m. It is dill pickling tips and tricks with Algonquin College alumna Sarah Pishva of Top Shelf Preserves. A link with the details will be posted in the chat. So thank you again, everyone. We look forward to seeing you at future events.